guys, how are you guys
Well,
doing out there? That was my sister
good.
interrupting my bit. That's my bit. You ruined my bit. You ruined it. But I'm gonna start over again, cause this is how I roll. This is Doc, aka Burrito, aka Saloy, aka Maki. And today is a very, very special episode. And to quote one chief creative officer, when you start a revolution, when you start out to do what nobody else can do, the first place you gotta look to is your blood. You look to your family. You look to my blood. I look to my family. Joining me today are my cousin, Euuee, and my wonderful sister, Maicey. Introduce
Yep.
yourselves, guys.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Euuee, aka the Devil, aka the Joker. But they always call me Jack Nicholson for some reason.
AKA the Nine Iron,
Oh yeah, you used to call me that too.
Mr.
I forgot
Nine.
about. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that was vulgar.
we get vulgar here.
Hey, we're teenagers. It happens.
You want to say, you want to talk about your AKAs, Miles? Maicey? Smiles!
Well, I guess I already got outed. But oh my I have a lot of nicknames, but you guys could call me Maicey. I am a trans woman. I used to be Doc's brother, but no longer. Um I'm a huge, huge wrestling fan.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. We,
Same here.
people need to understand that it's not just the three of us that had grew up watching wrestling. There's probably, there's what, like probably like 40, 50, 60, whatever of us who, watched, professional wrestling, watched WWE, watched WCW, watched
WWE.
ECW, you know? Um, and hopefully we get more of them on here because I feel like not a lot of wrestling fans have this experience that we do, where we have each other to not really confide in, but just like have like a sounding board of like, hey, did you guys watch? Hey, did you guys like this? I I mean, I guess we're all lucky that we grew up during like some of the boom periods, like Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression. But like, I know me and Micey, uh, I think our biggest fandom was 1995 WCW, where Hulk Hogan fought the Dungeon of Doom. I know that Yui, he loved Hulk Hogan. Um,
But you need to get into more Undertaker than Keith Lee.
yeah, but I mean, I saw that picture of you when we were kids, where you're doing the Hulk Hogan pose in your underwear. I saw that.
Oh yeah,
I
he
knew
has
what you were
that.
doing. And what my see, me and my sibling, my sister, we always say that our dad is the Filipino American dream, mostly because he also had curly hair. He also wiggles his butt when he dances. He's also an obese individual, and he also says baby a lot.
And
Crazy
don't
too.
forget he raised two sons.
He raised my boys. I I look to have. my son, and like, yeah, he raised two boys. And like,
Right?
you
He had a
know,
daughter.
the daughter came later, but
Yeah.
she was always there. She just was hiding. Um,
Just think of me as like the Stardust.
the cosmic weirdo, of course.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like when I think about like our childhood growing up, right? And I think about like how much like wrestling was a big part of our childhood because whether it was the video games we played, whether it was like just watching it or like how me and my sister and our other cousins from the Bay Area went to a couple of house shows. I remember we actually saw uh, Kama. My dad ran into Kama Mustafa in the parking lot and said, "Hey yo, I could kick your ass." I remember that conversation.
Do you remember the other part
What's the other part?
where he said, I have my baby Yokozuna and he was pointing to me?
Oh yeah. I remember that,
He was
and
a kid.
I remember Kama actually popping and laughing about that. Um,
You know what lives rent free in my mind from that day?
what's up?
When Fatu came out to that random song that wasn't his song. I was like, what is this? Who is this person coming out?
Yeah, because like at that time, Fatu, aka Rikishi, was actually doing his what's that? Make a difference, and he was
Yeah,
doing the
but the
dance.
song
It wasn't a
it
rap
wasn't
song.
even that song. It was a sunny San Francisco or something like that. It was an awful song and it didn't match and everyone was so
Yo,
confused. He was already having trouble getting over at that point when we didn't
yo,
even know what getting over meant.
yeah. Hey, but
What?
but
Sure does.
if you look at that show, we saw some legendary guys. We saw Big Daddy Cool. We saw Shawn Michaels. We saw Razor Ramon, the 1-2-3 Kid, and of course the legendary Waylon Mercy.
Yes, it was a lot of legends and a lot of wrestle crap. If you
Oh
guys
yeah.
remember what wrestle crap was.
Oh yeah.
What?
Shout out to you, RD Reynolds. Uh, we.
But I love the wrestle crap though.
Oh yeah. You're like so.
Weird.
I remember how I discovered WrestleCrap because I was doing like I remember I was excited because in high school all of a sudden we had this access to a computer class, right? I'm just searching random things. I find WrestleCrap and then I tell you two about it, and lo and behold, like they were making stuff fun of stuff that I actually liked. I actually liked the Sultan. I knew it was Rikishi the whole time, but like the Sultan had a cool look. I love those Arab shoes he had with the toe curls because like he might have dressed like I don't know like evil genie, but it was still like Fatu under there. Um, but I
I
like
remember you tried to convince me so hard that that was Fatu, but I was still in that stage where I thought it was all real.
oh
But I
yeah,
mean, it's still real to me. But
damn
I
it.
was, I didn't know any of those terms, any of those things. I was just, you know, a kid with a dream and a big belly.
Oh yeah, Big Belly
I just
Cruiser.
remember Big D's on Fake
Uh,
Razor.
Big Diesel Fake Razor. Oh, you guys remember when we thought that that was all real? That we thought like
That's when my gun shattered.
was it like
You know what else is spread for you in my mind?
Yes.
Um, what's it called? Bash at the Beach '96, where we had all of those old Hogan
Hasbro?
posters
Hell yeah,
in our room, and you went on there and you stuck a piece of gum on Hogan's poster and you wrote traitor on it.
yeah, because he
I
was.
remember all that.
He turned his back on the fans, brother. He did. He turned his back on me. I felt betrayed. I supported
This was
him.
a
I supported him fighting the NWO. I supported him fighting the Horsemen. I supported him fighting the Dungeon of Doom. I supported him against Big Brother Budai, the Booty Man. I supported him. I supported him. And what did he do with that support? He turned his back on me. And
And I think when I heard that promo of him cutting and introducing the NWO, I remember that is the basis I use now whenever I see someone like turn heel. I'm like, oh, they're gonna cut that promo of I never needed these fans. These fans needed me.
yeah,
Yeah.
like one Mr. John
It's Cena.
Cena.
There's literally John Cena. Every single person. I'm sure when Cody turns heel too, it's gonna be that same thing. It happened when Roman turned heel.
CM
It
Punk.
happens when everybody
CM
turns
Punk.
heel. CM Punk. Everyone's gonna say, "I never needed these fans."
And then when they turn
That's a
back,
And
bigger
it's
one.
thank
and
you for
Yo,
still loving me.
but you know what's funny is that it could be said over and over and over again,
But it
and
gets
it'll
over.
still be great.
It'll still be over.
It's
Um,
the
camp.
best.
yeah. No,
Cena souls are fat.
oh man, I love you guys. I love you guys. There, there's people don't understand like when it comes to like our family, our big Filipino family, our one family tree. You know, uh, we're
We're the fat Asians.
yeah, we're the fat Asians. When we look to like representation as far as us, who did we see? We saw the head shrinkers. We saw Yokozuna,
Oriental Express,
Oriental Express. We saw Tenru. Um,
Tito's, not Tito.
we saw
Bull Nakano.
Ricky the
Ricky
Dragon
the Dragon.
Steamboat. Like anybody that kind of looked like us, we kind of just like jumped on and like we kind of supported all the time.
You know what's
Uh,
crazy? I think that literally Bull Nakano is like a small part of my trans awakening. Seeing that giant woman destroy Alundra Braze or Miss Medusa, and that
Akira
is a
Hokuto.
memory that those memories of those Japanese wrestlers beating the crap. Are we allowed to curse on here?
I just cursed at the beginning of the show. Yeah, go ahead, go off.
Well, okay, you know what? I'll do you one better. They're beating the living daylights out of each other. How about that for cursing?
Okay. Um, you know, and you know what? Like when I saw like say like in WCW, right? We saw like Akira Hokuto. We saw Meiko Sanomura when she was like like 18,
Like a
16,
19-year-old, yeah.
18, 19. We saw it was cool back then in WCW because you would see like randomly like Shinjiro Otani, Kensuke, Tenzan,
I was
Chono,
just watching something about that. That
Oh,
New Japan versus WCW tour back in like
1995.
95
Yeah,
about how
I
it
missed that.
was so I remember I think we had watched pieces of it, bits and pieces of it before, but I was just like, "Oh, apparently it was really good but also not that great."
yeah. So the good bits were actually in Japan, where they would like send the Steiners, they'd send Benoit. We could say
Buddha.
Benoit here.
That's fine.
They'd send like the top stars back and forth, but like the good matches happen in Japan, so you'd have like Benoit go to Japan and like have those matches with like Liger, or you'd have Liger come to America and he's having like matches with like so 1995 he like face off with like a Eddie Guerrero or some random luchador, Brian Pillman, and I liked that, and I think that was like kind of our first introduction to Japanese pro wrestling, and I love that stuff, man. And Maicey can also attest that the video store next to us would also have import videos, Videotron, remember?
Oh yeah, we rented all of those old tapes and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And then some of our uncles had some of those old tapes for some reason.
yeah, they,
And
yeah,
don't forget our it was our mother that actually watched wrestling as a little girl too, and as a
yeah.
teenager, and she enjoyed it. And That was like her living in a
Bob,
different country.
your
Yeah,
favorite wrestler?
yeah. You know what's okay? So like our mom, her favorite wrestler was Bob
Bless her
Backlund.
heart, rest her soul.
Rest her soul, you're in heaven. You're in heaven with our Nanang. You're in heaven with Ryan's Nanang. Everybody, okay. Similar to the Samoans. We pay respect and homage to our elders. And our mom, God rest her soul. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. If you have a grandma or mom and she passed away, she's watching down on you. She loves you. Your grandma loves you, Ryan. You know she misses you.
Yep.
Um, rest in peace to our other cousin's fallen mom. Uh, yeah. So it's in our family. It's great that we're all close and like our mom actually she loved Bob Backlund. Um, she would tell us like because I remember when Bob Backlund popped back up before that Royal Rumble, our mom actually got hyped when she saw him on the Superstars, and so she was like, "Oh, you know who that is? That's Bob Backlund. That's my favorite wrestler." And like we'd be okay, mom, sure. And Bob Backlund, you know the guys, Bob Backlund was actually younger than Ric Flair back then.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? And they were treating Bob Backlund like he was an old man. He was barely 42. And who's main eventing in AEW, Miles?
Jeff Jarrett.
Uh,
Jeff
yeah, Jeff
Jarrett,
Jarrett, the
Edge,
chosen one.
Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin. All those dudes are older than Bob Backlund was when Bob Backlund returned. But that's besides the point. So our mom would tell us about like how she loved Bob Backlund. For some reason in the Philippines, they were able to watch WWWF. I'm not sure how that happened, honestly. Uh, but yeah, our mom's
I
favorite
think
match. Our mom's favorite. You can test this, Ryan, but well, I'll get back to you, right? But our mom's favorite match was Bob Backlund, Jimmy Snuka cage match. One of the bloodiest matches you could see, right? Um, imagine our mom, pious, lovely, beautiful, small, super religious, family
it.
orientated Filipino woman, and she's there trying to cheer Bob Backlund to not die versus Jimmy Snuka. And just thinking of that, like, kind of gives me like heartens me and like, yeah, it was kind of passed down to us. And then like some of our uncles, um, like one of our uncles, Uncle R, as I'll call him, you know who I'm talking about, Ryan. He
Yep.
always would talk about Bobo Brazil. He would talk about George the Animal Still. Like George the Animal Still was his guy. And Ryan, do you know why the Filipinos loved WWF back then? How was it available to you guys?
There was usually someone TV. That's how I got to see. I think the first match I saw was Steamboat.
Ah, yeah. So
And
Did you
like,
then,
guys watch it at home, or was that like a closed circuit type deal, like how they used to have pay-per-views a
yeah,
long time ago?
the film is like only 3 channels, but sometimes it
ah,
was four.
so it was
Sometimes
like,
they showed first. I saw
oh,
I saw Warrior on TV. I remember.
so
You know what's
Most
a
of the
disgusting thought, guys? I just to for banter real quick. Us talking about like the NWO and stuff like that is the equivalent of like people talking about like the original like Buddy Rogers and stuff like that. It's like that much time has passed in
oh
between
yeah,
that time when we were
yeah.
watching it in the 90s and the 80s and like how it like it's just man
We're
like
we're
when we
still
watch like who the heck is Nature Boy Buddy Rogers? Who the heck
yeah.
is even like George Hackenschmidt? Who the
Uh,
heck are all these names that people remember? And it's like why do I know these names?
yeah,
Like I never watched any of these matches.
yeah. That's just funny that names
generation.
names from the past come over to the generations and then we think about them.
Oh, you know what? When I was at WWE World, I was going through the Triple H like museum thing that they had
Yeah.
there,
Did they have the
and there was
terrorize and
this
stuff?
little they had their terrorize and stuff. They had it was 30 years of Triple H. It was amazing. And this little boy, he was telling his mom when we were in the line the whole story of Triple H. Like every little part we went to, he was talking about the DX tank and all that stuff. I was like, and I asked him, I was like, how the heck does he know his history? I asked his mom. He's like, oh, he just knows he loves it so much. And it was like he's like very accurate. Like he's
Yeah.
10 years old. He doesn't. By the time he started watching wrestling, Triple H was already retired. I'm like,
Yeah.
how
How is he
he
gonna?
really loves his stuff.
Well, Micey, like when we think back, we watch like the old tapes, right? We watch like, cause our uncle would rent like the WCW tapes. Like I remember they rented the Battle Bowl where it was Jushin Liger teaming with Ted Arcidi, and they would like I remember that stage completely where all the wrestlers are standing on the stage and then like they all turn around because it's a rotating stage and like you see all the big muscly muscled up dudes like being presented like they're toys, and like that kind of memory sticks with me. And like it's crazy when you think about it, right? Like because all that stuff that we're talking about happened like 30, 40 years ago almost. Like when we think about like
Watching ECW
yeah,
on
we
a hardcore
ECW
to
on
that
like
very blurry
a portable TV, a black and white portable TV. So children, TVs used to be portable. They used to be able to
I think it was closed circuit.
they used to be able to go from room to room, and like you put a battery in it, and then you used to be able to travel with this TV because TV used to be available over the antenna. It used to be as they call analog. Yeah, we we would bring that TV to with right. Yui would bring that TV with him to everywhere, right? Whether it be like a
Oh, you
funeral.
remember we would play video games on that little ass TV.
Yeah,
And what was that? What was we were playing a Dreamcast? Is that what
Yeah,
we were playing on that thing? The
we
freaking
played we
Dreamcast?
played everything on that one.
I think it was your PlayStation. I think it was
Something like that. I don't remember, but I just remember we were playing like squinting on that little TV and it was the best thing ever.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was in the car.
yeah, yeah.
Now we can
So
do that anytime
yeah,
we want.
so when we think about like this stuff, right? It being passed down to us basically, the older generation, like even the older cousins, like our Edmonton cousins, right? Ryan, right, Yui, like
Yeah.
the Edmonton cousins would. They, I remember when we went to the Philippines, they had all the wrestling toys around their room, right?
Hmm.
And like the Manongs would be, they they like kind of like have like this interest in it, and like one of our oldest ones, um, Wancho, right? So Wancho also, uh, like Yui, came from the Philippines, and when Wancho came here, he was wearing a Jake the Snake Roberts shirt. So it's cool that um, Mia and Maicey and our other two cousins were watching WWF wrestling, and then our other cousin comes over here and they were also a WWF wrestling fan, and like having that through line, and like none of us were like judging each other for watching it because we're all watching it and we're all not being judged for watching it. It's just something that we all did. And like when you go online and you like hear like, or like you go like hear a podcast and you hear like a wrestling fan send like a email to like a whatever podcast and they say like, I always felt so alone because there was nobody that I could share it with. All of us, we don't have that kind of experience because we were sharing it with each other. I'm like, how do you guys feel about that?
It was like that. Yeah, it was like our thing. Became our thing as as cousins that we like to talk about sometimes.
Yeah, I remember. It's crazy how we all had like the same general like base of knowledge or whatever. Like
Girls and
even with the
boys.
cousins, yeah, that came from the Philippines, and they all at least knew something about it, and at least were a little bit updated. And that was as a kid, I think I didn't even think about that, but now that I think about that, it's like this is pretty cool. Yeah, it was like I didn't really. have too many friends in school afterwards that I talked about wrestling with, except, our neighbors. When we moved and we moved elementary schools, our neighbors ended up, they ended up being Filipino also, and they also watched
Also,
wrestling.
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't want to bring this up, like, because like a lot of us Filipinos, there's something about pro wrestling because you got the drama, you got the costumes, you have the sexy men, you have the sexy women, you have the sexy men dressed as women. You, uh,
You're living a dream. You're living like this kind of like big, like theatrical dream. And a lot of Filipinos are very like that. They're very about
yeah,
like
So,
having such big like celebrations and stuff like that.
yeah,
That it's very in tune with the culture.
yeah. And in the '90s, we had like very few Filipinos on TV. We had Dante Bosco, we had Ernie Reyes Jr. Even though people don't know this, Phoebe Cates from Fast Time at Ridgemont High, she's half
Blue Diamond
Filipina.
Phillips.
Yeah, Lou Diamond Phillips. Um, Tia Carrera. Oh my God, how many times did we all watch Wayne's World, guys? How
All the
many
time.
times?
We went to
You
Santa
mean going
Maria.
to Santa Maria?
Watch.
The same sets of movies at Santa Maria, and one of them is
We
that
probably
movie is freaking Wayne's World.
had to be
uh,
Auntie Teresa's
yeah,
movie.
that
That was that generation.
I love Yanti. Um, like so, like we had representation. Shout outs to the OGs, you know. And then in 2005, we had the representation.
The Animal.
We had the animal, Big
The
Dave,
great,
Tito Dave,
the greatest actor,
one
wrestling
of
term
the
actor.
yes, this man, people don't understand, right? So in 2005, there's one of the biggest celebrities at that time, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, world champion. So at that time, us Filipinos were riding high on him. We were all backing him. We didn't think about his political aspirations because they didn't exist. He was just this baker from Mindanao who learned how to punch by baking pandesols like every day, all day. And then he happened to have a talent for punching and Freddie Roach and all this. And he was a phenomenon, a cultural phenomenon. Whether you're Canadian, British, American, especially if you're in the Philippines or Australia, if you had Filipino blood or even like a little bit of Filipino blood, or shout out to our white uncles, Uncle Bill, you 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 had this pride for having Pacquiao represent for our people. And right beside Pacquiao, one of our cousins, like he says it like Batista was pretty much an idol in the Philippines. And for us, like us Americans to like fully experience it, because like he came out representing with the flag, and like it, it like even though like sometimes like we don't like certain Filipino people, whatever, but like if we see someone that's from our culture and he represents, we will always like back him 100%. And Batista happened to be oh, one of the he's one of my favorite big men, muscle men, and like like when we go to the family parties and like every time someone would point out like, oh Batista, he's Filipino, and you guys can back me up on that. Um,
Oh yeah,
And you want to have 1% Filipino, you're considered Filipino.
yeah, like and like nowadays we see Bruno Mars, we see Olivia Rodrigo, um, Brett Rockman,
Well, even in wrestling, when we used to go to
TJP,
those, yeah, we
Roxanne.
have TJP, Caden Carter,
DJZ. Shout out to Joaquin.
Shotzi.
Now, why is Joaquin Wild in the LWO? Why is
He
Jeff?
he has he has an LWO tattoo too, and he was like, "Am I allowed to get this?"
Why is
We're
Jeff
considered
Cobb in the Bloodline?
we're considered neutral.
Because he's a AAPI.
Okay, I guess the Bloodline is API, but like Yeah, I saw Jeff Cobb's Filipino big Filipino ass join the bloodline today, and I'm like, for real? Okay, well,
Yeah, the Guam is a Pacific island. Isn't that where he like lives?
yeah, well, I guess, but
He got that Chamorro look, kind of, you know.
yeah,
He got
but
that big square jaw.
but he's
What's his big part
Pinoy.
of the blood? What's
But it's cool. It's cool that we're on TV now, right? We like I might talk shit like why is he in the book, but we see a Jeff Cobb on TV, right? I see a Aaron Solo. I see TJP in New
Aaron Solo, is
Japan.
that the guy that used to date Bailey?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's cool. He's cool. I like him. I like him. Even in like New Japan, also we also got like Robbie Eagles. Robbie Eagles looks like our cousin June's. Uh, uh, and like also like in Joshi, there's this wrestler. Her name is Yuri, and she's half Pinay, and in my opinion, she's like the best wrestler in the world. Um, Maicey, I think you should check her out. All of her stuff's on YouTube. Syuri,
Who?
Syuri. Syuri. She's a half.
Darsley?
She's half. She's in Stardom. She's half Filipino. She's excellent. Excellent. Like if you see her face, you'll know instantly she's Pinay. Like, um, and like for us, representation as far as Filipinos go, Maicey was right. If you're even just 1% blood, uh, you get the support of your people. We accept you right away. If you're half Filipino, you're full Filipino, and that goes for family. that goes that goes for friends. Like it doesn't matter. Whatever blood you are, you're Filipino. You're gonna eat rice. You're gonna eat longanisa. You're Filipino. You're gonna eat adobo. Um, I'll do an aside. So I got this question for you guys. So when we were
Yeah.
kids, don't worry, guys. We go off topic all the time on this show, so go with it, okay? So when we were kids, and I remember we went camping one time. Just speaking of adobo, you guys saw me take some chicken adobo out of a frying pan and put it onto my plate, and then I proceeded to eat this chicken, and you guys just looked at me. And then my mom came up and said, well, "You're stupid. Why are you eating the raw chicken? Why did you guys let me eat the raw chicken?"
We're not responsible for you. What the heck are you talking about?
You don't want to
Mom did
grab
the
it.
right. We just made fun of you. That's all we're gonna do afterwards because you know it's your fault if you get salmonella. Mom tried to stop you.
Yeah,
Oh, ruthless. I
not our
told you.
responsibility.
I told you.
You thought you got it.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
How are
And
you
like,
supposed to learn if you don't fuck up yourself?
that's right. That's right. And I had a bad stomach ache, and I learned my lesson. Don't eat raw
Yeah,
chicken. Um,
that was the same. That was the same.
Yeah.
I think that was the same camping trip where I got pantsed.
fully
Oh,
naked.
it
Fully
is.
naked.
Fully naked,
One of them.
fully in my gender dysphoria.
Oh man. The I know we're going all over the place, but it's funny also.
Yeah, but do you know what we were talking about that whole trip? Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why can't we be there? Why can't we be watching wrestling? Why can't we be playing some kind of wrestling video game?
Yeah.
Why are we there?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. When we go hiking, we always talk wrestling.
Remember. Okay, Auntie Gijig, right? Auntie Gijig. We're
Yeah.
gonna. So Auntie Jigga, right? What's the wrestler name she always says? Bam Bam Bigelow. Why is
Oh
that the
yeah,
wrestler
for
she
some
always
reason.
references? Every time we play wrestling, every time we talk about wrestling, she always says, "Are we talking about the Bam Bam Bigelow?"
It's probably because
Always,
he's scary looking and
He,
he was big and his name is easy to remember.
and
it's
he has
always,
tats. And his hair is flames.
it's always Bam Bam Bigelow. That's
Hey, he's
uh
out. And he was
Remember when
good.
he was in that movie, Major Pain?
yeah. He got beat
Yeah.
up by Damon Wayans, and uh, it was always cool. as a kid to see a wrestler
Ye-
in like a movie or like a TV show. Like we bring up Batman Bigelow in Major Pain, but do you guys remember Vader did 2 episodes of Boy Meets World? Fine,
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
that was weird because that was when he was in WCW and then he was in WWE.
Yeah, it was. I know, like it was weird because they kept the same kayfabe that he was the dad of Ethan Suplee's character. Uh,
Yeah, I remember he was wrestling Jake the Snake Roberts in that episode, and then it made it look like he was the good guy, that
yeah,
Vader was the good guy.
I
I'm like,
did it,
what's
son.
going on?
Yeah, it's so like it was so weird because he was never a good guy in WWE until he
Richard
said,
was
"I'm a fat
the
piece of shit."
administrator.
Or
He became a good guy when he like broke his own character and he started feuding with Yokozuna and all that,
oh my gosh.
right? Or was it after Yokozuna? I don't
Goldust
remember now.
was Goldust when he was against Bret Hart. I think.
Oh, he was the bad guy against Yokozuna.
Yeah, he
That's
turned
Yeah,
right.
face when against Bret. It was when Bret
yeah,
Hart became.
because they had fat guy heat, because there could only be one dominant fat guy.
Yeah, and Vader was the frothiest of the fat guys, so
Who's the
apparently
man?
according to all the people talking, he was the smelliest, so
Yeah, Bret
he
Hart, Shawn Michaels. They all said he was the sneakiest man. Uh,
He
so
looked like it.
Maicey, you remember? So we're talking about that era of WWF, right? So when Mankind showed up and I told you that's Cactus Jack, why did you say that's not Cactus Jack?
because I didn't know. I didn't know that all of those things happen, and I don't think I had my breakthrough moment about wrestling until maybe around the 2000s, actually like maybe like 1999 when they started doing when I really started to notice all of this
Yeah.
Kayfabe
stuff
breaking.
happening
But like,
and kayfabe breaking with all the
yeah.
bullshit and the politics and
Oh,
all the Russo
Had to be
stuff. And
DX. It had to
I
be
think when I
DX.
started seeing the Russo, how the Russo effect was like a thing, I started to notice, oh shit, this is fake. But and it didn't make me lose like any liking for it. I think it made me more intrigued, actually.
well, our dad always called it fake bullshit. So,
Yeah, but we would all be watching it anyway because
yeah.
it was so entertaining. It was so because you know it's like then you start to relate wrestling to like when you watch it as entertainment and you're watching it like an anime or everybody has a special move like an anime,
Okay.
obviously there's Goku with his Kamehameha wave
Yeah.
and Sailor Moon with her Moon Tiara action. Like everybody has some kind of special move. Wrestling's no different.
Yeah. And you know what? I know we kind of skipped around him, but Gold Dust. So, Micey, what does Goldust mean to you as a character?
I think, you know what's weird? I think that I was kind of offended by Gold Dust because had a lot of that internalized homophobia, being at the 90s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when people would like compare me to Goldust, it would make me really upset. But I think now I realize that he was when you look beyond all of that stuff, that it was just a character, that
Yeah.
he was a really good performer. And it's like, you know, it's interesting that that was the first, that was when they
Yeah.
first said, "Are you a queer?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he said that on
Are was
TV."
it just Jerry Lawler? Are you Ryan? You can do a good Jerry. You can do a big good Jerry Lawler. How did you say it? Are
Are you?
you
Are you? You know? No. I believe that was his answer. Well,
are
I
are you
think
queer?
you even though when they were doing those that kind of awkward gay stuff, I always liked it. He was fun. I found him interesting.
But yeah, I
Well,
like
there was a lot of very flamboyant characters that I even thought were gayer than like
Yeah,
Salvatore
even weirder
Sincere.
than Goldust. That's when he put the big Johnny B. Bad. That was a freaking drag queen.
Hey, when did you guys find out that Johnny B. Bad was white?
I didn't get to see him in WCW. Only as the Wild Man. That was it. Or
The
Matt.
wild man.
Johnny being back, well, even the gigolo Jimmy Del Rey doing his gyrating. I
Doom,
was like, oh,
doom.
this guy is, yeah, this guy's, what is this? What am I watching right now?
Uh, hey,
Get someone's uncle out of there.
That's
you
so
know,
annoying. It's funny.
the gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, and
And you know what I love? I love that we all know the jobbers, every single jobber.
well
I
done.
was watching this YouTube's thing earlier, and I was like, I don't even remember some of these jobbers, like Mr. Excitement. I'm like, who the heck is that?
Oh man, you're talking about favorite jobbers.
Yep.
We talk about Barry
Who
Horowitz.
who
We
cares
talk
about
about
favorite wrestlers? Let's talk about favorite jobbers. That's a better subject because you're a
hard work Bobby
meta
Whopper.
freaking. Oh, we don't talk about him. He's. Oh no, that's hard body Harrison. He's
Hard Buddy
blacklisted.
Harrison was the guy who pimped women and
He
is
got
now in
busted.
prison for solicitation.
In
Um,
Dark Side of the Ring.
What about jumping Joey Mags
oh yeah, we watched all the shows. We watched Saturday Night. We watched
or
WCW
the man,
Pro.
the man that Bret Hart was going to defend his world title against?
Who can
Roadblock.
roadblock? Um, who could deny El Dandy? Who are you to doubt him? Uh,
I remember
and
we had to watch that when it became a meme. We just
oh
kept laughing at it.
yeah, dude. It,
It was like
it,
mid 2000s.
look, like pro wrestling is inherently going to be funny no matter what.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. It's big.
It's camp. It's freaking camp. I don't know if anybody's ever mentioned this before, but and I'm sure there has. I've seen a few people mention it. But wow, that there is a definite pipeline between
I,
like drag and wrestling. A
can I have
big
your
old pipeline
charger?
between them two. I'm very into drag, especially, that was part of my awakening as well as a trans woman. And I was like, why do I like this so much? And it's like, oh my gosh, it's so performative. It's literally just like wrestling. And it's like you see even a lot of the drag queens, a lot of their inspirations come from anime and wrestling and the performances and all of that stuff. Doing a death drop and doing a dip and a jumping split, that's their version of like doing a
Strut.
swanton bomb. It's like it's all physical, and it's like, oh my gosh, these two things are so closely related, and you know, it's like it's nice to see how just everything just relates to each other. It's all so
Yeah.
cyclical.
And I want to also explain this to our audience. In
You don't
Filipino
take wrestling.
in Filipino culture, drag and being bakla is, at least in our family, it's accepted.
Yeah.
It,
They have contests in the Philippines. I remember.
yeah, we have contests to Miss
That was
Bakla
a kid.
Philippines. We
I
all we have relatives who are gay, lesbian, trans, run the gamut.
Yeah.
And though
I'm
and
started by them.
we always treat them with respect and love, and no matter what. Maicey can attest to this because we have multiple cousins on our mother's side who did transition, um, younger than us,
And on that side too.
and on that side too. Um,
On each side.
yeah,
Each side.
yeah. So the only thing that's insulting in our family is being a vegetarian.
Yeah, we were meat eaters,
Uh,
regardless.
who told you?
Anyone that goes vegetarian goes right back to meat in our family.
Yeah, that's the
Except
that's the biggest insult that you can have is being vegetarian in this family.
weird.
Um, I did talk to you about this on another show, but because whatever, this is all also about us growing up. Maicey, remember
Yes.
one of our favorite shows growing up was Kids in the Hall,
Yep, we were like the only five people that watched that show.
and like how often were they just portrayed as women and we accepted that they were women? And
Well,
it wasn't
remember
weird to
Scott
us.
Thompson was that very like played that very effeminate man
Buddy
in it.
Call.
Yeah, and then that show, and then not to mention in Living Color, the men on film,
Jim
And,
Carrey.
and Jim Carrey as the buff neck, that buff neck lady.
Jamie Foxx as Wanda,
Oh yeah,
What was Martin Lawrence's Shaquaqua or something?
yeah, he was
Shanae.
Shanae. Oh
dating.
yeah, Shanae.
Oh, the Martin show. Martin
Like
Lawrence show.
like all if we look at that back in the day, we see a lot of examples of men in drag or men playing women and them just being accepted as their females. Like even and like back then, uh, it wasn't really like seen as for us as a consumer, as like kids back then. It was just like, yeah, whatever. It, and like I just, I just, you know, I
He
think
was a hot.
we're just like raised differently from other people, you know, because
Yeah,
like if we see somebody
but
different,
he got rejected.
we're raised not to like throw a fit about anything like that, and I can attest that to who gave us our upbringings and as far as acceptance and all of that. Not a lot of people have that, but we do, and I think we're lucky in that kind of instance, you know. Um, we kind of like talked around it a little bit, but like one of the things that really bonded us as kids, and I think this is universal, was playing video games, whether it's, Street Fighter or Turtles in Time or, uh, Saturday Night Slam Masters. And
Yep,
like
WWF
there's
attitude.
these wrestling games, right? Everybody has that question asked to them when they're a gamer, right? What's your favorite games? And I always go like, I love wrestling games and I love fighting games. And sometimes they're seen as like in the same genre. But yeah, I just there's something about competing with somebody and trying to win that's just so addictive about those games. And in particular, wrestling games, um, the difference with wrestling games is we had a multi-tap, right? So we could play four players at a time. And because there was like 20, 30 of us at one time in a big ass in a house, this is how we be able to get everybody in on the game out so that everybody would get a turn. Except for one of our baby cousin Nix, who we would all the time plug the old Nintendo controller underneath the Super Nintendo and give him that controller and make him believe that he was playing the game.
Oh yeah, it's called faking him out.
Yeah. So like my question for you guys is like, um, what is it about the wrestling games and what wrestling games are your favorite wrestling games?
For me,
Yeah, both of you
I gotta
guys.
go with WCW NWO World Tour. 'Cause I think that's the first game that actually felt like an act, like felt like real wrestling, pro wrestling for me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be my favorite.
Because you can
I
work
remember
all, yeah, because
because we played until 4 o'clock. I
yeah,
remember we didn't sleep that day.
you could work a body part, like you could work the back, you could work the arms, you could work the legs, you could work the head. And in that game, if you pick the right wrestler, you could actually rip the mask off the luchadors.
Yeah,
Uh, there's something about the grappling, the submission, the striking, the reversals. Because I remember I used to really like to use like Lex Luger in that game. Uh, and like getting people up like in the torture rack felt like a accomplishment. And
have you never seen it?
yeah, and it's like and like sometimes like when you play the game, the wrestling game, right? Um, you don't really play it to win. You play it to have the best match as possible in your own head. Uh, at least like that's how I kind of felt when I was playing wrestling games because I'd hit all these moves and then try to hit the most like fancy move to win, you know? Or like when we play, you know, like the four fatal four-way matches, you guys would always triple team me and make sure I get eliminated first.
Yeah, Marley, remember when we played at Revenge and it was the last four it was the last four of us. Was it us, you, me, and Francis and Ryan? Was it literally us playing? I think it was literally us playing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And at the very end, somehow, um, Euuee was able to pull your leg out of the ring.
After I
You were doing
eliminated,
Malenko.
after I eliminated
Were you doing
everybody.
Malenko?
Yes, I
You doing
eliminated.
Malenko?
Yeah,
I did that.
I eliminated everybody in the match and then I got pulled out and it was draw game.
I think I was the Maya Inca boy or whatever his name was. And then Yui just pulled you out of you already won and then ended a draw. And we all that was a memory that just lasted forever in my mind. That's like that's
Oh,
freaking hilarious. How does that happen?
You
That
screwed
doesn't
me.
happen in these video games.
You screwed me. That's what happened. You screwed me.
hey,
Uh,
I was
yeah.
wondering if we could do that. Did it work?
I don't know if you could do that in the new games, but yeah, the old games you used to be able to control yourself when you got tossed out at the last minute, at the last final four, so that you could screw over somebody that's in the ring. And yeah, I had that match won, and you dragged me out, and it caused a draw game, and that kind of lives in my head still.
That
Um,
you didn't win?
yeah, man. I love WCW NWO Revenge. That's probably it's WCW NWO Revenge, SmackDown versus Raw 2006, and Day of Reckoning 2 as my and Fire Pro Wrestling D. Those are my four favorite wrestling games. Oh man,
Yeah.
the amount of hours we poured into these games is sickening. To quote Macaulay Culkin, like you don't understand.
That is quoting. I would say that those four games are definitely my same favorites because they elicit the most memories. Or is literally y- I
I
would put I would even put Revenge, No Mercy, and WrestleMania 2000 within that same like
yeah,
because they all play the same and you know you know what fuck it like even like the first SmackDown even though it wasn't that great we
SmackDown
played a
2.
lot of hours on that yeah
SmackDown 2
one
was
and
dope,
two
bro.
we've
SmackDown 1
spent
was
so much time on those games.
That's graphics.
Yeah, and it was like, dang, like this game, I can tell it's not as good as the N64 one, but they're still fun.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
remember like we would put so many hours into Slam Masters because that's fun, but that was more like a fighting game. It was a fighting game, but
Oh
there
yeah,
was
Slam Master was also, and you could screw over people in that game too. So
yeah, you could
any
screw
game
over
where
your
you could screw somebody over,
yeah.
I screwed Brett once, I'm gonna screw him again. Like even like the WWF Raw and WWF Royal Rumble for Super Nintendo. Those games, all of those games, they were all so like significant when we were playing, as kids. And it's just like I remember so many instances where it's like there was so much drama, even like getting into arguments because of like why didn't
people
you save me?
people getting punched in that for missing a hot tag or this is why we instituted a rule that every tag team match is going to be a tornado tag because
Nobody
so
tags in.
people because nobody tags in because they only want to play for themselves. And that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg. Um, like this stuff, dude. This rules. We we would often like there was always like just this feeling of like happiness, camaraderie, uh, somewhat a competitive spirit, I guess. But like it's always in good fun. And in pro wrestling games, it's always like nobody's trying to like just win and get the game over with, right? Like if we play Halo, we're trying to end the game right away, because or we play like GoldenEye or something like that. It's like you're not trying to take that game as long as you can because like you want to win. And in
No, you
rest,
play to make the drama. It's the
Yeah.
drama. You don't want to win with the only time you want to win with a move that's not your move is when you win with a small package when the match has gone on too long.
Oh, oh yeah.
Or we get DQ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just attacking, what's it called? Getting DQ, getting a, getting yourself to that situation.
So eh, to let people know, we would play in Day of Reckoning 2. It got to the point where we were trying different ways to play the match. So we did like a count out match. So whoever loses because it's a count out. Or we did like a match where like it's a DQ match where the only way to eliminate someone would be to get DQ'd. But in that game, dodging was really easy, so you can make the guy hit the referee by standing in front of the referee and the guy charges at you and hits the referee. And that's how we play the game is you try to get in front of the referee so that the other guy hits the referee. And in that game, you could do moves like a F5 or a suplex, and everybody gets hit. So getting timing it so that one guy hits the referee to get DQ'd, that was a part of the meta of the game, and that was fun.
Stipulations.
Yeah, stipulations like that, or just being able to like. I know I annoyed you guys because I would always be editing movesets. Like, um, I think that was also my ADHD where I would hyper focus on something, and just like it would be like changing movesets to make it like the most either like the funniest moveset like with Snitsky or like just try to make it like the most accurate moveset. Because like I still play the game, right? And throughout the years, John Cena keeps doing more different moves, so I keep editing John Cena's moveset because I'm a sicko. Um, to the point my wife does get annoyed like when I play wrestling games. She says like, when are you actually going to play this game instead of changing these things? And I'm like, well, this is how I play the game. Uh, and I don't know why that's why, but it's just my thing. Um, yeah,
It's
man.
fun. You
Yeah,
want accurate.
I like being accurate, so like I do it, and then the funny part is I start at like in the afternoon, and then by the time it's nighttime, I'm like, hey guys, we can play. And then you guys are so pissed off that every time we play, I always get eliminated first in a fatal forward. Always. No matter who, no matter
Must be
what.
triple teaming.
Or like even like when we're doing a tornado tag match, one of you guys is my partner, and then all of a sudden, no, I get screwed over because I get turned on, and it becomes a handicap match.
That's my revenge for you taking so damn long on those freaking move lists.
Yeah, yeah, you know. Um,
You don't deserve to win.
yeah. Oh.
I don't care if they do DDT number one or DDT number four. Just pick a DDT.
So, man, I wish our littlest brother was here to, to just like to go in on me because I know all you guys want to go in on me for that. Um, yeah, like, and I'm gonna go backwards again because like we kind of go all over the place, but that's how conversations go. We always go all over the place. One of my core memories, like one of my first uh, stark memories as a child, is seeing Earthquake kill Damien. Um,
That was on wrestling.
yeah, we actually watched it live. Um, and I asked you guys, what is your like first wrestling memory that you could like recall? Because I got two. I got Earthquake squashing Damien, and then Ultimate Warrior getting trapped in the casket and then puking everywhere.
Mhm.
I
Me,
think for me it was that one too. It was Damien getting squished by Earthquake and I cried.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, that was this because Jake the Snake was my favorite wrestler for whatever reason as a kid. I think literally because he just had a snake. And that shit made me legit cry. I remember telling mom, I said, we need to call the police on Earthquake because he killed the animal.
That's that's cute. Um, like
I was
yeah,
never scared of snakes, so
well, you and William Regal have that in common with your pets. Um,
my first memory was Warrior 2. Dude. Even
Warrior.
that thing was.
Was it
Yeah, that was,
the warrior puking, or when the warrior got goo on his head?
no, I was, he had a match with Rick Rude. I
Rick
remember.
Rude. Oh, okay, yeah, 1990 SummerSlam. Um, we talk about these wrestlers. We talk about jobbers. We've been talking about all this stuff. So, who are you guys? Who are your guys' favorite wrestlers?
The Undertaker for me.
Are we gonna go by era or just mean
Okay,
in general?
I'll do this. Okay. We'll do. You can do wrestlers old school
Do give
list.
them categories.
Okay. So this will be like, do you guys want to do generation, or do you want to do like 90s versus present? Old school
I
versus
would,
present
you
time.
know what? I feel like those are all kind of cliche. How about we do favorite yeah, we do like favorite current wrestler within the last like 10 years or whatever,
Yeah,
and then also do a favorite all time and a favorite tag team and you
sure.
know,
Hey, it's your guys' show, so like tell the world. That's all I can say. You know, I'm sitting here like sitting on like 300 downloads of my podcast, thinking I'm a big shot. But like, go ahead, guys. This is your show. What do you want to start? You guys
how
see?
about we do a favorite how I got an idea. How about we do a favorite wrestler like subject and then whoever comes next will pick the next subject after we all go around. Whoever goes last
All
picks
right,
the
all right.
subject or whatever. We'll do like
I'll
popcorn.
all right, fine. I'll name my favorite tag team all time. My all-time favorite tag team, Steiner Brothers. It is a story of two brothers, Rick and Scott.
For
Um,
me, Edge and Christian.
I think my favorite all time tag team is definitely oh man, is DX. Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Which
And on top of that, those are equally my two favorite wrestlers of all time. So why don't
which
we do favorite
the
wrestlers of all
game.
time?
My
which
my my
era of
s- my sibling loves the game. What'd you say?
which era of Triple H HBK man?
Which era? Okay. So we're gonna break it down that
Break
much
it
more
down.
because okay,
Uh,
that's fine, that's
Reign of
fair because you know you had Triple H
Favorite era.
and HBK have both equally um metamorphosized their careers throughout the last like 30,
Middle
40
Age.
years now. So definitely I don't think anyone's gonna say Terror Rising is their favorite Triple H. But my favorite era of Triple H is definitely um the game. Like 2000 like between 1999 to 2002.
Fact
I
Gym.
actually I'm gonna man, that's tough too because I freaking love that boring and unstoppable Triple H
You
in
love
What?
when
the
he was
Reign of Terror?
Evolution.
You love the
I
Reign of
love that
Terror?
Triple H. I
Oh my
love that
god.
Triple H.
You
And you know
loved
what's
when he
crazy
beat
about
Booker
that?
T? Where the Booker T
I
cups at?
love that Triple H because I love that Triple H because he was so badass. It's like, damn, this guy does not give a fuck. He was the
Uh,
original John Cena that's gonna ruin wrestling. That was him, and
uh,
people were tuning in. He had such a grip on everyone wanted. And you know what's crazy is he never really had a long title reign. I don't think any of his title reigns ever lasted a year.
When he wins it again.
He just won it again and again and again. But even then, he doesn't have the most title reigns. So it's just like he's not as overrated as people think, and that's the crazy part.
I'm the game. I'm the game.
He's very
Ooh,
giving, you know.
I'm the game. Ooh.
He's you know, he even gave a dead woman a platform, and I'm not talking about China. I'm talking about Katie Vick.
Oh. Oh no, I screwed her brains out. How about how about you, Ryan? What's your favorite Triple H?
Hmm. I don't know. I kind of liked it when he was the Blue Blood.
The Blue Blood? Oh yeah. You
I thought
know, I'll
he
tell
was
you
like
my
he was defeated. I remember. No one could beat him until
uh
Ultimate Warrior squashed him.
I have never liked Triple H. Um aside from, damn, I don't think I liked him except for that one, except for when he was, huh, that one match with Stone Cold, Three Stages of Hell. That might have
So
been that and the Cactus Jack match. Okay,
That
so
like the are you talking about like pre two-man power trip Triple H?
yeah, yeah, well, like between the Cactus Jack match and the
three
Which
stages.
Cactus
Three
Jack
Stages of
match?
Hell. Yeah. Um,
Which Cactus Jack match?
Or this, or
the
the or
the Royal Rumble when
Okay.
when Triple H got that piece of his calf torn off.
I feel like
He
Triple H and Mankind literally that's a feud. I feel like that never gets put on that top echelon of feud. It's always like The Rock and Mankind or like Triple H and The Rock. But man, Triple H and Mankind,
it's
that was the
because
freaking feud.
it's because
yeah,
That
the
was the
final
Triple H
boss.
whole.
It's because it's the final boss, and the final boss has the final say. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask
like
you for your soul. I don't want that. I don't want this. I want your soul.
you have to get you have to pay the troll's
Toll
toll to
to
get
get to
to the
this.
bully's hole.
Um, who are your guys' favorite hardcore wrestlers? I'm gonna name two. Because you guys know my favorite wrestler is Cactus Jack. Uh,
Yes, you're always them. You are Mick Foley. You are the Mick Foley of the family. That's for sure.
yeah, because he would go to the extreme, and he would do all it takes. And you sons of
I would
bitches
say it's
said,
because you're Dugyot.
Shane,
That's why.
do yeah, because I'm too good. I'm a dirty man. Um, yeah, I love Cactus because garbage wrestling, that's what they called it back in the old school days. Was cool to me, like in ECW or like the WCW matches he had with the Nasty Boys and Sting. We're the boys. Speaking of Dugyo,
that's all he hated.
because like I love Cactus Jack and the matches he had and like the blood and the weapons and as far as a current hardcore wrestler that I like Jun Kasai, but if I'm gonna like go like all time for like hardcore wrestling besides Cactus Jack, um, Swerve Strickland rules at hardcore wrestling. There's there's no one else that gets as grimy and bloody as Swerve Strickland, and that's what I like. How about you guys? Who's your favorite hardcore wrestlers?
Me,
Yeah, both of you guys. This is for all of us.
gotta go with New Jack.
New Jack?
That's the case. New Jack. Yeah,
Hey,
I like practice in ECW.
hey, New Jack come out with that
He jumps up.
typewriter or a piano or a Nintendo and throw it at someone's head.
When he jumps off the balcony. That was
Uh,
good, man.
that's what makes him good. He jumped off the balcony and he came out to Natural Born Killers.
And he broke his
Yes,
leg.
New Jack was amazing. I hated him, but I liked him at the same time. I just hated. I'm not really a huge hardcore wrestling fan. I do like spots and stuff like that, but I I I kind of understood his aura, but it's like, man, this guy can't wrestle for shit.
But
Rest
he,
his
he can't
soul and all that, but
hey, he can't wrestle for
he's just
shit.
hitting
But how
people with
over was
weapons.
he? How over was he?
Oh,
He would have never gotten over in the big leagues, but he was perfect where he was, and that's fine.
Yeah.
He died a local man, and that's fine.
yeah.
Did you ever see the Smoky Mountain promo where he's like, first of all, I want to send a shout out to O.J. Simpson. Uh, you got another one.
What about speaking of Smoky Mountain? Wasn't that where the PG-13 were saying black is beautiful,
And caused a
and
riot. Caused,
they caused a riot with all the white people there because he said black is beautiful and he's a white, that's Bill Dundee's son or whatever.
yeah, yeah. So, Maicey, who's your favorite hardcore wrestler? Is it Shane McMahon?
It's RVD.
It's RVD. Wasn't he the
Man,
coolest?
RVD.
Wasn't RVD the
A man
coolest
that could
motherfucker?
wrestle. He had good moves, and we used to do martial arts back in the day. He
Yeah,
did martial arts. He did the splits, which was my signature move, the
yeah.
splits. And what's it called? He used all the weapons, and that was just the coolest thing to me. That this guy, and I've gotten to meet him a few times, and just like I'm privileged to have met him, and like he's one of my childhood
Well,
heroes.
well,
It's
I
literally
remember.
yeah.
RVD. And I know our
People,
other cousin that's not here would say the same thing. He
yeah,
loves RVD.
yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
music
He
DVD.
was the
The
coolest
OG.
motherfucker in that time period, like 2000 all the way to like the invasion, all the way to the ECW, the
Absolutely.
WCW, the WWE title win. He was one of the coolest dudes, and like you don't have that aura nowadays. Like,
You know what? I'm gonna change the bar then. Triple H is my favorite hardcore wrestler.
ah man, just like Triple H, you gotta bury RVD.
Yes.
Yeah. They brought the thumbtacks out. He wasn't afraid to take any of those bumps, like from that first match with Cactus Jack in 1997, and then that Royal Rumble match, and all of those times
I,
that he, with his bare skin, took all those bumps with all those like
yeah, yeah,
things. It's like, dude,
yeah,
this guy's
yeah.
he's
You're
not overrated at all.
you guys are
Thinking of the
man.
match he had with.
I'm always gonna stand up for Triple H. So never. He may be the New
I,
England Patriots of wrestling, but
I, I'm gonna stand
that's
on
my
business.
boy.
I'm gonna stand on business for Shane McMahon too. He would take those crazy bumps. He would go through glass, real glass, Crimea River, and he would do all the crazy shit like
He
a
was the
shooting star
original real
press,
gas,
real glass. Yeah. And when you
besides
watch,
Atsushi Onita.
oh yeah, Atsushi Onita was pretty cool with the exploding barbed wire ring match, and oh man, there's like this. People disrespect hardcore wrestling. Even my sibling disrespects it, but everybody loves the hardcore spots.
But
You know, modest to the top, modest at the top.
Sometimes, as they call them, spot monkey fester. But actually, what really helped me enjoy like the hardcore or weapons based wrestling was when we used to go to those PWG shows down there in
Oh yeah,
Reseda, and
dude,
watching even freaking watching Candice LeRae take all those bumps and get bloody and get dirty and
that shit
get
was cool.
SA'd. It's just like that was the stuff that happened with
Shout
He
out,
Who Shall Not Be Named.
shout out to you, H Tizzle, the human
Yeah,
tornado.
and dude, that was the turning point where it's like I think I don't hate it, but I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I get it
Oh,
now.
that,
I get this like violent
oh,
wrestling
okay.
because of the exposure.
Yeah, let's go on from like these. We'll come back to the favorite things, but let's go and talk about PWG. On this show, I've told everybody that we've been PWG original people like since like what 2004, 2003 ish. We were like literally there at the beginning. We saw everybody. We saw some CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Brian Danielson, Claudio, Chris Hero, um, everybody, Sami Zayn, Kevin
this guy.
Steen, Austin Aries, fucking Davey Richards. The list goes on and on. Like you know, uh, Keith Lee, fucking everybody, Scorpio Sky, TJP, uh,
Loki.
Loki. Like these are like names in the business, and like when it comes to like Brian Danielson and we saw Kenny Omega, Nigel McGuinness, the Young Bucks when they were like really exactly young. I remember we went to like the first Dragon Gate show in the USA, and like we saw like guys like we saw Sema, we saw Shingo Takagi, we saw remember Stock
Naruki Doi.
Naruki Doi, Stalker Ichikawa, all these people, Genki Horiguchi, and that's like one of my AKAs is Genki Horiguchi, man, because who doesn't love Hage? Like when it comes to PWG, like I know like my sibling sounds like a WWE Fed head because they are, and honestly, so is Euuee, and so is our other little cousin. But like that's fine with me. But like what people need to understand is there is always a crossover in pro wrestling. Just because you love one federation doesn't mean you can't like any other thing, right, guys? Yeah.
Hmm.
If you like
You
Like
can
WWE,
like everything. You
you
like
can like
whatever.
everything. I like when we would go to PWG
I don't.
shows. There was like always a palpable like feeling like we're at like a punk rock show, but like there was always like a feeling of camaraderie, whether it was Reseda or Burbank or even like the original Jewish community center. It just, oh man, and it's cool, nowadays like we see Steen, we see Generico, we see even Excalibur on TV every week, and to see them go from like the little like basketball gym that we used to go to being on like international broadcast TV, isn't that fucking cool?
yeah.
That's cool, right? I mean, because like we would help like when we get there early, we'd help set up the chairs. The wrestlers would be all talking to us like they want to talk to us like they're trying to keep kayfabe or like trying to like get money off of us. We just talk to them like we're people,
Yeah.
and like when you go to the gimmick table, like Chris Hero would shake your hand and like ask you how your day was, and like we you just shoot the shit with them, and like uh
I still
you
remember
know
when you ran into X-Pac in the bathroom.
yeah, X-Pac would go to PWG. X-Pac and William Regal would always go to all the PWG shows, and like they would just be there and chill. And X-Pac was probably one of the coolest dudes that I met because he was really nice. He's a really nice guy. Um,
Paul London. Paul London is really nice too.
Paul London is a nice guy. I remember we actually went to one
WrestleMania
of. I remember the first time we watched like Great Muta and Liger Live was at a PWG show, and like we met them and they were cool, and like we also met like Orlando Jordan and Takeesh, and the thing that I remember the most besides um, Rob Van Dam, the whole effing show, Van Terminator, Van Crushinator, Van
Who was that?
Executionator.
Was that like a wrestling like a WrestleCon before WrestleCon was a thing?
I
I
think
remember
so.
that thing.
I think so.
That was
was
before
that
like Conrad and all that was
Yeah,
involved.
yeah.
was
It
that
was like
Neil?
yeah, it was like a wrestling reunion kind of like thing.
And you guys
So
got to go. I didn't get it. You guys,
Like the
you and
Barbarian and Haku were there and stuff, right? I
yeah,
remember that.
yeah,
But
Barbarian
it's so
Haku.
it's so vague in my memory, but I remember that's where we saw Kishi and when he was like in TNA and all that stuff, and it was like and then that's where we met like Paul London and all that. I was like, whoa, this is
Uh,
like so cool.
yeah, just to be able to meet all these different wrestlers we grew up watching.
Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer. I really marked out when I saw Great Muta because like I never thought like I would see Great Muta and Liger live because WCW had closed and we never went to the shows where they were there. So to be able to
We've
be
never
able
been to a WCW show.
yeah to be
I
able
think Lowe's.
to be able to go to like a wrestling show and to be able to see one of to see Jushin Thunder Liger and Great Muta on the same show, and that was crazy. Plus like Great Muta was in All Japan and Liger was in New Japan, so they really mixing at the same time. So for me personally, that was one of the cool moments, along with seeing RVD versus El Generico. I forgot who was the last guy in that match. I think it was Chris Hero. But just to see that
Was it
match,
a triple threat match?
yeah, it was a triple
Was
threat
it
match.
Kevin Steen?
Maybe it was Kevin Steen. It was one of them, right? But just being able to like see like some of the guys that we were talking about like with like such reverence, and it's cool. And like there's something about going to a live event that I feel, in my opinion, is the ultimate experience of pro wrestling. Now, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, I had brought her to the show, and we were so unlucky to sit behind a guy that smelled like he had pooped his pants,
Great.
and that definitely set the tone with the wrestling events for her because she doesn't remember anything about watching the wrestling, but she remembers the guy who smelled like poop.
Oh, you know what? To add on to the people that you would see, like you were talking about earlier, you saw X-Pac and
Yeah,
Regal. I remember even like people you wouldn't expect to be at those shows, but people would just make, "Hey, why are you in this? Why are you here watching?" Freaking
yeah.
Candice Michelle.
Candice
I
Michelle was
remember
in the front.
I remember
You
dancing
did the
with
dance
Candice
with Candice
Michelle.
Patel.
I did the dance with her, and we took pictures, and she was so cool. She was there with her husband, and
Yeah,
it
I
was
told
like, see, you got people talk crap about people like her, like, oh, you're just a diva, and she was there watching PWG at her own leisure. She wasn't even in WWE anymore at that point.
yeah. It's cool. At that time, PWG was just like that's where people went to watch wrestling here in LA. That was our territory. In the Northeast, they had Ring of Honor, CZW, and Chikara and all that stuff. But we had PWG. We kind of had like a filtered version of what they were doing out there. But we also got to see like you know we got to see the best wrestling. PWG was the original place where the best wrestled. Uh, and like if I'm talking about like my favorite now, like we'll go back to like our favorite wrestlers of the modern era. Like I'm gonna name like some of my favorite wrestler of like the modern era, or like maybe even my favorite wrestler of all time is like Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan. To be able to see him go from like the blue tights, white boots to the Yes movement and all that, and going to Tokyo Dome and main eventing at Wembley Stadium and all that stuff, and just like seeing him at SummerSlam and just being like the biggest star in the world, that it's like kind of vindication for liking him for that long and like supporting somebody like that. Because like for us, like it's kind of like um, his run is not a normal run. Somebody that's only like 5'8", someone that's like a cruiserweight, being able to just get up to that level because he was great. He was greatness. Um, and who's your guys' like favorite modern legend?
Modern legend or modern wrestler?
Modern legend, like because like Daniel Bryan, right? Is he a modern wrestler or is he a modern legend?
He's a modern legend. Well, I think he's inactive right now, or I don't know if he's gonna retire soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say him. For me, it's Tyler Black. It's Seth Rollins.
Okay. Hey,
mm, uh, AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Okay. Yeah. Like
Oh, that's actually perfect. All three of those are literally, if you're gonna describe modern legends, I think it would be those three. And
like
they all were in PWG. They were all
yeah,
in Ring of Honor. They all started in the Indies.
yeah. We saw all of them in PWG. And like people don't understand the meaning of PWG. Like because people say like Generico and Steen had their big runs in ROH before going to WWE, but nah, their big runs were in PWG, and I'm gonna say that till I die. Because where else are you gonna see them where they started? They started in PWG. They give me their names in PWG. Where did the Young Bucks make their names? PWG.
Yeah, we
Um,
saw the Brit
And don't
before.
forget about Xavier Woods too.
yeah,
Well, yeah, he was there.
yeah, he was there. Um, and now we come to like the hard part, like because
Hold on, I have a question.
we
What's the weirdest you ever met a wrestler?
what's that?
What's the weirdest place you ever met a wrestler?
Well, I met X Pac at the urinal, and then I also met Zack Ryder in the restroom at Disneyland. But uh, um,
You guys remember when we met Disco Inferno at Sapphire in Vegas?
yeah, we met Disco Furrow at
Yeah,
Sapphire.
Disco Inferno. He was there. We were like, hey, isn't that Disco Inferno? We even asked him. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
He
Disco
wasn't. He
Inferno.
wasn't shy.
This is just
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to take a picture? Yeah, come on, take a
We
picture.
took a picture with Disco Inferno back when I was like, you know,
Before he
you were
was an
drunk.
asshole.
yeah, we're
Oh man.
drunk. I was at a women's strip club. But actually, I've been to more women. I've never been to an all male strip club, which I think is disgusting.
Who
But
wants
what's
to
it
get a
called?
who wants to get a penis laid up on them? That's
I think
gross.
I've only been once. That was just to take our cousin for her bachelorette, but I'd never been, and it was disgusting. But anyway, yeah, Disco Inferno at Sapphire
Yeah.
strip club in Vegas. That takes the cake for the randomest encounter, and all
Yeah.
three
Yeah,
of us were there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And we
That
all did the
nothing's
disco
gonna beat
dance.
that.
We all did the disco
Nothing is
dance.
gonna beat that.
Um, I'm gonna say this because we haven't been talking about them. Well, who are your guys' favorite wrestlers today? Like young guys?
Like that are gonna be something like they're like rookies.
Not rookies. Like guys who you think are like current. Cause like there's a couple guys I like right now. There's Takeshita. There's Hangman Page. There's Braun Baker. And Jacob Fatu. And and one of the other guys that I really think is going to be big in the next 5 years, no matter where it is going to be in the world, people are going to think I'm going to say Will Ospreay, but it's not Will Ospreay. The guy I think that's really going to break through in the next 5 years as something big, um, Dominic Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I hated Dominic Mysterio literally until WrestleMania.
there,
When I saw him live at WrestleMania and he had all of that, I was just like, what the heck? Have I not been paying attention to this guy?
now,
Because I hated him. Is that he was one of those people where it's like, oh, but
now,
I started to
understand.
like him during this during the whole Liv Morgan stuff. I didn't really care for him with the Rhea Ripley stuff, but with the Liv Morgan stuff, yes.
Now, understand. I don't think he's a good professional wrestler at all. But
I think
he's an excellent heel. He's an excellent asshole. He's so annoying. Everything he does is
But
irritating.
But they're
And
pivoting him. He looks like he's going for that face turn. It's that slow face turn, that natural progression of a face turn that we see all the time that
yeah,
he's gonna reach because they're cheering him. His
yeah.
pop at WrestleMania was almost as loud as Joe Hendry's. I was
Uh,
there, so I can attest to that.
I do not like Joe Hendry. He just comes in and he loses and that's his role. He's gonna be he smiled, he took the RKO and that's it. And I personally don't like Joe Hendry. So I don't
He's
like
a
his
boring
wrestling.
wrestler, but
He's a
I
boring
I
wrestler.
think I think that he's smart. He's smart as hell. He's a good businessman.
He's not as good as LA Knight and not as cool as LA Knight. So who are you guys? Who are your guys' favorite? Do you guys agree with my consensus? Good modern wrestlers, or do you guys
I
have
don't think I
anybody to add to
get.
it?
I don't even think. Oh yeah, I was like, I forgot about that. That was the question. I would say EO Sky.
Neil Sky. Um, yeah, let's get into that actually. How about you, Ryan? Who's like a modern your favorite
I go with
modern
Joe.
guys?
Or
Right?
no, actually, I go with
Logan
Stephanie.
Paul,
Stephanie McCare. There you go.
Stephanie
That's
Vec.
who I think.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Let's
Stephanie Vaquer.
let's talk about it.
Stephanie Vaquer
Let's talk about it. The women
for
in pro.
sure.
Let's talk about women in pro wrestling because you brought up Candice LeRae earlier.
Roxanne Perez.
Uh,
Roxanne Perez is going to be the biggest female star in the next like 5 years.
how do you feel about Mariah May and Tony Storm and that match?
Nah, I didn't see it.
Well, that was an amazing match, and what's it called? I would say Tony Storm too. Like if we're gonna talk on an international level, I'll say Tony Storm because I don't know if she'll ever come back. But what's it called? And in terms of the like mainstream WWE, Saudi blood money type, I would say
You
Roxanne Perez.
like Roxanne. I like well, I like Mercedes. I like Tony. Who might be heading to WWE, they're saying is Mariah might be going there. So you want to talk about Tony Fumble. Uh and but like they it's so cool now that we see women put on the same level as men. Like the fans see them on that same level, not necessarily the bookers. Because like when was the last time in either company have you seen like women be put as the main event of the show of the pay-per-views, right? It's never happened.
Sable.
It hasn't happened since what Bianca and Mercedes. That's the last major
Yeah.
pay-per-view main evented by any woman. I think
And
that's
that's
it.
there are two women of color too.
Yeah. That
That's never ever happened before, and it's never happened since.
Yeah, never happened in the main event of a pay-per-view. I mean, there've been Raw main events, Dynamite main events, Collision, SmackDowns where women main evented. Yeah, that's cool. But when was the last women's pay-per-view main event? Yeah, it hasn't happened in a long time.
Like,
But I think the talent is there. Like you see Julia, Io Sky, fucking yeah,
The Richard.
Stephanie
That's why
Vaquer.
the
You see
evolution
that
2 needs to happen. Evolution 2 needs to happen if they're smart.
that Io Sky Rhea and Bianca match was phenomenal.
That
That
was that was the match of WrestleMania.
that was a phenomenal
That
match.
if any match was gonna be like the best match of WrestleMania, it was that one.
Hey, what did you guys think of The Rock saying that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns had one of the best matches at WrestleMania and never saying CM Punk once? How funny is that?
Was that a rib?
No,
Do they not like each other?
they don't like each other.
Because of that thing where
He said, shout outs to Seth Rollins and Roman, my cousin, for having the one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. No, nothing about CM Punk. And that rules. Man, like, and like, women's wrestling is really cool. And the cool part about women's wrestling also, I know like in America, they always love having like sexy outfits, right? That's what they wear. But like when I look at what Io and Julia wear, like or even like Sheeta, like wearing like cool costumes is part of like, I wish they would incorporate that more in America. Because in America, everybody's pretty much got their butt cheeks out. Every wrestler has their butt cheeks out. I'm
You
not,
including
talking about just for women
yeah,
or in general?
yeah, just for women. Well, like the women wrestlers in America, right?
Well, I mean, for Stephanie Vaquer, it's kind of her thing.
Yeah, I mean, most of the
She's
wrestlers
an
have butt
international
cheeks out.
wrestler.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's always going to be, I mean, women can dress how they want to dress, right? But it's funny to me that now every wrestler has their butt cheeks out. And that's fine. You can own that. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying
Is
it's
this
nice to have
sorry,
variety.
is this the Mickey James thing? Are we going into that? You know, the LFG
I
thing
mean,
that Mickey James said about people's costumes?
I don't know. Well, it's like everybody has the same costume for me. And as far as wrestlers go, like male wrestlers,
Cena.
um, everybody like the little underwear tights. Uh, I guess like
Height mark.
when wrestlers wear like black speedos, they look more like a professional wrestler to me. I'm not
Yeah.
sure why it is. Like, I need to
Not rest-
see I need to see like a Katsuyori Shibata in the black underwear with the knee pads and the kick pads, and he looks like the wrestler. You know.
But it's
What
good
are
to have people that look that they're not always like that, like you're saying.
yeah.
Like you can't. I was much more intrigued by a match when I see like two wrestlers that have completely different aesthetics fighting each other. Like you know, one of my actually Seth Rollins is probably one of another thing about him that I love so much is that he's not afraid to like pretty much be a drag queen. He has his
Oh,
reveals, he has his struts. He's very very drag, very camp, and I
he,
think that's
he
real.
def
If I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, but him and Becky Lynch, they both do that same kind of thing where they wear like really elaborate
well,
costumes,
he
like a Ric Flair,
he definitely
like that kind of
watches
style.
he definitely watches Drag Race.
Oh, for sure. Like you can tell in his cadence that he does.
If only he did promos like RuPaul instead of this stupid laugh, Um, like, you know, it's all all of this is like it's
No, he
fun.
Seth Rollins is the Violet Chachki of WWE. Let's just say
Okay.
that.
Like, you know, so we have each other when we talk about wrestling, right? Um, a lot of and then we all went online at some point of our lives to talk wrestling, right? And especially nowadays, like, I feel like when we go online, everybody tries to have their own opinion. Everybody tries to be like the smartest person in the room. Everybody kind of wants to complain about what they're watching. But like, how do you guys like take online opinions seriously, or do you just judge the show on its own merits for how what you watch? Like,
I don't.
does
I
like
don't.
go because I remember we used to like talk about Scott Keith 5 stars stuff like that, but
Minus 5 stars.
I never
but
cared.
but
I
like
just didn't
yeah.
care.
So like those online opinions like change your opinions because I know like the bit because you were making fun of it, Maicey, like how WWE is the Saudi blood money company. Um, do you care?
No,
No.
like, it was really actually one of the things that was really striking to me, when I went to WrestleMania was seeing like, right now I'm playing, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and randomly seeing that giant symbol right in the middle of the ring. I'm like, people are gonna complain about this, but as a Fatal Fury fan, as a wrestling fan, and like a fighting game fan, that was really cool to see. If that
Hey,
came from the Saudi money, it is what it is. I'm
hey,
not one of those like woke people, and
hey,
it's just seeing that was so cool. Even seeing Salvatore Ganacci just there chilling and having Jey Uso come out with him there. It's like, what is
you,
this? What's going on right now?
hey, you know
This is
what's
amazing.
the, Tanahashi came out dressed in a Terry Bogard cosplay with the voice actor of Rock Howard with the Fatal Fury symbol in New Japan. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So Tanahashi did that, and then Kenny Omega did a City of the World stream. So it's not just WWE taking that money, brother. It's
So it's, and it is what it is. Like, people, you're not watching wrestling for morals. This, you're not Steven Richards, right? You're watching it to be entertained.
all you nuts
And what?
entertained.
Yeah, if the money comes from where it comes from. Everybody, as Million Dollar Man said, everybody has a price,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You're gonna do
Uh,
what you're gonna do to make your money, make your dollar, make your coin, and
I
sometimes you step on people, and you know what? Like, it happens.
I just think
Just business.
you're just watching a TV show. You're not making any like real political statement by what you're watching on your TV. You're kind of just
Absolutely
watching.
not.
So
Yeah.
like, cause like I know, there's people who vote certain ways, who watch certain things, and they think certain things. And that's on both
Artistic.
sides of the thing. One side will, but like it's whatever. What the thing common thread that connects all of us is professional wrestling and being a fan of fake fighting. I say fake fighting
Yeah.
because it is fake. Um, it's predetermined. It's fugazi. It's all a magic trick. Um,
Yeah,
sure.
you know what? Sports entertainment is both the best term and the worst term in the world, because there's nothing else that can describe this except for literally sports entertainment.
Yeah.
So
Because like
whoever coined that term, if it was Vince McMahon, you
to get
know,
to get out
that,
of paying the boxing and wrestling leagues a little bit of
exactly,
money for licensing.
it's a business.
Yeah.
I mean,
Predetermined. Come on.
yeah. You
I'm not
know,
watching moral. I'm not watching wrestling. I'm not watching anything for morals. I'm watching it because I'm entertained. People need to stop taking themselves so damn seriously.
uh, so
That's what we go.
yeah,
We
because
think
I'm just saying, AEW, New Japan, WWE all took that SNK Saudi money. So Kenny Omega, Mr. Mr. AEW, took that Saudi money. Uh, just saying. Um, and you know what, man? This rules. Uh, I'm gonna ask you guys this because we always talk about this. What are your guys' favorite Filipino party foods?
party cool. Yeah.
Foods. When we got to a family party, what is your favorite food to bring or to eat?
Spaghetti.
Mhm.
What do you
Jollibee fried chicken.
What'd you say? What'd you
Chicken
say?
Joy, motherfucker.
Yeah. What'd you say, Yui?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Jolly
Spaghetti.
spaghetti? Okay. Uh,
Filipino.
Filipino spaghetti, Jollibee fried chicken. Ah, man. What I always used to love? I mean, well, I'm gonna say the lechon because that's like always like that's A1. That's the A1 killer. Um, but like besides lechon, I also really like having at the parties because I have diabetes. Um, I know my Maicey was pre-diabetic. I love me some good leche flan. Uh,
The
just
Filipino version.
yeah, just having that eggy custard with that sweet caramel on it, and oh boy, I could feel like my blood sugar rising. But I drink a Diet Coke and it's fine.
How how on brand is that to just interrupt this conversation we were having about Saudi blood money with big back thoughts about
Yeah,
food?
big back. Hey,
It's
we're
it's so
we're a big back family. We're a sturdy family. We
we're a couple
we're
of high calorie individuals.
yeah, we're high calorie individuals. We got we got size. This is the land of the giant appetites. Um, it's it's what we do. And like
That's
I
how our parents
yeah, that's how I parents is. And like
eat. Now eat.
feed me more. Um, yeah. So like I'm just gonna tell this little side story. So our grandmas, we just call all of our older like great aunts, whatever, grandmas, right? Grandma. So our
Uh-huh.
grandmas would cook like giant meals for like lunch and breakfast. And so to appease them, me and our another cousin would eat food, go to the bathroom, throw up, come back to eat more. And I know that
We
doesn't sound normal, but that's what we did. Uh, anyway, this will be another question for you guys. Whenever we had, what's your favorite thing to eat while watching wrestling?
hmm, fun
Uh,
sit.
Pancit with wrestling? Okay. How about you, Maicey?
You know what? I don't think I have a favorite thing to eat because I try not to sit down and watch things, and I try not to sit down and watch things to eat anymore, so I don't associate that together. But I I would say just if I'm at like a stadium, it's more like what am I like doing? Because I have my attention span as I've gotten older. I'm sure you guys have all gone through the same thing. Has gotten so short, correct?
Yeah, that's
So
that's what happens with the cell phone. Everything is at your fingertips. So you'll watch something
so
on
I would
TV.
say. Yeah, what I've been doing is I don't watch wrestling as much, and thank goodness social media now just has the clips of the important part on the WWE Instagram page, and that's how I watch all my wrestling now. It's
Uh,
like, and this works for me. So then
hey,
when I sit down and watch like a wrestling or like a PLE or whatever, I'm on that treadmill watching, and it just goes by so quick. I'm gonna do that tomorrow to watch Backlash.
hey, enjoy seeing Jeff Cobb, the Filipino Jeff Cobb, join the bloodline. That's so funny to me. Um, the the biggest the biggest part of our fandom, I think that ties us all together. Like even our girl cousin, even some of our aunts and uncles, is just like, we go to like the family parties and then um like one of the cousins would say, "Hey, are you guys still watching?" And then like we'll be like, "Yeah." And like, I did invite Euuee to for with us to go to Revolution, but they were busy. But there's something about it, like, because even though our other cousin France and my scene went with me to that Revolution, and I know both of you weren't like really watching you guys don't really watch AEW, uh, but
No, we don't. But we know who we know those wrestlers.
yeah,
We know a lot of their stuff, and we will. I do watch AEW the same way I consume WWE content, is on Instagram.
yeah, when something cool happens, you'll say, "Oh, that was cool." Um, so when we went to the show, like,
I believe in supporting all wrestling, support all of
yeah,
it, just like we support all art.
yeah, and like. we talk about being there with the fans. I actually sat next to like this beautiful like interracial couple with their son. And the son like kept turning to me to ask questions. He was like, "So who do you think is gonna win, Takeshita or Omega?" And I was like, "I don't know who you think is gonna win." And he was like, "I want Takeshita to win because I'm Japanese too." And like,
Yeah.
like those little things, right? You feel that like that kid was how we were when we were kids, and like just talking to you guys and like just going down memory lane and just feeling like wow, like all these memories keep rushing back, right? And it's good feelings. And like usually when we like listen to these podcasts, it's or usually like when we go online or whatever. I'm not gonna like bury people, but it's always this feeling of negativity and constantly just you know it's just it doesn't feel good sometimes to be online. You sometimes you want to go online and just say I saw this cool thing and but I just think it's cool that I have you guys to talk to about like how whether I like something, whether I dislike something, and it's cool to have a soundboard because like Maicey said, we didn't like have a lot of other friends who watched this stuff. We had each other. We watched through all the downtimes. We watched through WCW in the bad period. We watched through WWF in the bad period. And we never really stopped. I guess like as adults we kind of stopped because like we slowed down a bit. But like
Mhm.
you guys still consider yourselves wrestling fans, right? Even if you're not watching more wrestling.
I think, yeah, I think we do.
I think the way I consume wrestling is different than it used to be.
But
So, but yeah, I would still consider, I spent fucking $2,000 on those seats at WrestleMania. So I
ooh,
would say that makes me a big wrestling fan. And I went to WWE World, I went to WrestleCon. Like
yeah,
I spent a lot of money. I would say, I mean, it's not just a money thing, but like I wanted to spend that money and I wanted to see these wrestlers. I I I I got to see one of my favorite wrestlers of the modern era, Mandy Rose, and the Iconics. I paid to see them, and I was worth every penny. I met them for 2 seconds, and it was worth every penny.
hey, you know,
And
hey, what?
even the one wrestler that I will never understand your hate for, she was like one of my highlights of WWE World, which was Chelsea Green. She was so nice, and she loved that I came
Hey,
in as a
I,
trans woman,
I'm gonna
and it was like so amazing.
I'm gonna say this about Chelsea Green in ring, whatever. But like as a person, because when I met Zack Ryder, she was there with him, and like she waited for him to take the picture with me, and that was like that was when she had won the U.S. title, so she was actually holding the physical U.S. title belt. But she was really nice about it, and I didn't really want to chase after them to take another picture with her because that would make me a weirdo. Uh, but I'm sure when she went to Disneyland, she was kind of hounded like that. But she was very nice about it. Um, all that being said, yeah, I'm not really that big of a fan of her in the ring. I'm not a big fan of Zelina Vega either, but I'm sure. But I've talked to people who are big fans of hers, mostly because she's Puerto Rican and they were also Puerto Rican. But we have that same thing, you support your people. I support people of color who end up being successful in pro wrestling because and in being successful in American media because we need more of that, right? We need more of that. We need more Mercedes. We need more, we need more Zillions. We need more Roxannes. We need more EOs. We need more uh, everything. We need everybody to be represented, and uh, yeah, it just feels good. It feels good.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say this. I think the more that we recognize people's, accomplishment, especially within their nationality or culture, the less we need to emphasize it. The
Yeah,
more it's
the more
recognized, the more
normal.
less we need to emphasize it, the more normalized it, and then the less you're gonna have like, oh,
Yeah,
look at that Japanese wrestler. No, it's that wrestler.
yeah. Because when what Swerve said when he won the world title is like when he won the world title, it wasn't like he said it's not a big deal that he won the world title because there's been black world champions Bobby Lashley, Booker T, um, Mark Henry, The Rock. He said like if you're gonna act like it's a big deal, like as in terms like it's world breaking, like that makes it more like other than like making it normal because it should be normal. A black world champion should be normal. Kofi Kingston winning the world title was a cool moment. It wasn't like a revolutionary moment. It was something that should be happening all the time. Um, yeah,
Hey, like I said earlier, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair WrestleMania main event. Not
yeah.
only not only were they, did they main event WrestleMania, they were two black women that wrestle main events of WrestleMania, and that hasn't happened since or before or any other time after that.
What was that big part on my own?
Yeah.
And it's, we have, and, needless to say, you should be using like big events like WrestleMania as that benchmark because there's more girls watching WrestleMania and watching wrestling than ever.
I,
Look at all the talent coming in that are women.
yeah.
One of my friends, I met my friend came over to my house yesterday. His daughter is a huge wrestling fan and she knows her shit. And she's
Oh,
9 years old. And I'm like, what the heck? This little girl. They went to all of those. They went to Raw and all that stuff to at the premiere over where they lived. And it's like she knows her stuff, and she's a little girl, and it's important for her. And she's of Latino descent, and it's like it's important for her to see like all these like Stephanie McCare and all these people that like are like her.
hmm. Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's much better than when we were growing up and we didn't really have much to go on. So so like you said, that's why I saw myself in Mick Foley as a character because I felt like Mick Foley kind of like represented my whole mindset of like fuck it, and he was just somebody that appealed to me back then. And for you guys, right? What wrestler did you guys feel like a kinship to? Because I felt like that with Mick Foley. So who did you guys like feel like you kind of like saw yourself in?
Honestly, for me. And this probably is gonna sound kind of cliche, but China,
China.
Hmm. Let me see.
not a great wrestler, but she was pushed up there. She was a legend. She had a pretty like challenging adulthood, like after wrestling, and we all know how that ended. And
Yeah.
as someone that
Yeah.
was also recovering alcohol, I really felt her story. And, seeing those like muscular women that everyone accused of being men, being a man,
Nicole
and I thought that
Bass.
was like, why are they doing that to her? Like, that's not a man. Like, you're not, who are you to tell this woman what she is? And she was just like
Yeah.
so bullied in the industry. And it was just like, people don't realize how much of a legend she was until she died. Like,
Yeah.
sure, her in-ring work wasn't that great. But she had so many other accomplishments that weren't just wrestling. She was such
W
an important figure.
would have had
Don't
a chance.
don't treat me like a woman. Don't treat me like a man.
She,
Don't treat me
she's
like you know
she's
me.
she's probably one of the stories that we were never gonna get the full story of, and because of how she was treated in the industry, we didn't deserve someone like China.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
For
That's
me,
that's yeah. Who about you, Ryan? Who did you like? Who
Rikishi.
did
When he bleached his hair, 'cause I did that, and he was a
who
fat guy.
who?
Rikishi Fatu.
Rikishi Fatu. Oh, okay. Because he
He
was
did
a
one
big
of,
guy.
and he had a bleached blonde hair,
Oh yeah, you had
like
bleached hair. Unfortunately.
the phase of blonde hair and like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guys.
he was, he was
It's been great. catching up with you guys. Um, really, it's been great. And usually on these things, I always ask like, what's your guys' favorite dessert? Um, you guys know mine, German chocolate cake. So what's your guys' favorite desserts?
You go first.
I was literally just asked this not that long ago.
All right.
I would say my favorite dessert is uh ice cream, like some kind of delicious ice cream,
Yeah.
on top of something warm. Like so ice cream on top of a brownie or a blondie or a hot chocolate chip cookie. Like
Yeah.
that combination is my favorite.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if the dessert's not over 1,000 calories, it's not worth it.
I also gonna say like I love ice cream. Um, you, Maicey, like we have like four freezers, and you seen it, they're full of ice cream. So I'm also an ice cream freak. But I'm also gonna say another dessert. I also love suman, and cassava cake, because our nanang and our mom would make those for every family party, and just
Oh,
gotta
remember
double
when
it up.
mom would make zucchini bread too?
Yeah, that was great.
Randomly?
Yeah.
That was delicious.
How about you, Rai? How about you, Yui? What's your favorite, man?
It's always gotta be simple. I always like mango.
Mango?
Yeah, it's
Just a mango fruit? Okay.
what I always eat
Okay.
after still do.
Um, and I want to thank you guys for coming onto my show because, uh, like I said at the top of the show, when you're starting a revolution, who do you look to? First, you look to your blood, and you guys are my blood. Um, I love you guys. I love that we on this journey into our adulthood and into our 40s now. We we still bond over this love of pro wrestling and um
Wait a
yeah.
minute, I'm not in my 40s yet. Hold
Hey,
your horses.
okay.
One more
Neither of
month.
you. I'm already in my 40s. Okay, so
Getting there.
yeah. My final question for you guys is, what do you guys want your rainbows to say? And by rainbows, I mean this is going to be a message that you want to send out to the world. Like, what do you want the people to remember you for?
Just want to be a good husband and a good dad, especially since my daughter's now turning 8.
Okay, that's great. How about you?
I'm gonna take a little bit of a nihilistic approach to this question, because I'm that girl. So whatever anybody says or thinks about me is none of my business. So, you know, think of me what you want. Take whatever you want from me. I know for me that I'm the best person I can be. I'm flawed, like we all are. So, if you're gonna think of me and if I've given you something positive in your life that you can take away, amazing. If not, whatever. It's none of my business.
You see, um, wrestling fans are not a monolith. Um, Asian Americans are not a monolith. We're all different.
I would definitely be a heel if I was a wrestler. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, but
And everyone, a good heel is the one where their heel turn makes sense.
And pisses people off.
hey, my favorite wrestlers are right now like are all the heels. And I'm saying now that I like Dominic Guerrero because I do like Dominic Guerrero, and Dominic Guerrero is one of the best wrestlers going right now. Gotta
Mr.
love
Triple
Dominic.
H had
Dominic Guerrero is my favorite wrestler, and you know why I'm saying Guerrero. Um, yeah, guys. Thank you for
It's canon. It's canon.
it's canon.
he
You know,
admitted it.
but yeah, guys.
Is it true, Dad?
Yes.
Yes, yes, you are my son. Oh man, that's legendary. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on my show.
All right. Thanks for it. Do it again sometime.
Yeah.